So I don't even have to tell you guys, but there are countless issues affecting the American people. We have a healthcare crisis. We have a student loan debt crisis. We have a climate catastrophe that is now imminent. I don't know where I'd begin if I were a United States Senator. I don't know what I'd do first. There's a lot of issues that need to be dealt with. But certainly one thing I wouldn't focus on is identity politics, but one party has in fact chosen to focus on just that. And no, I'm not talking about the Democratic Party, I'm talking about the Republican Party, who still is choosing to focus on social issues instead of real substantive issues that would help people's lives. So the Republican Party, particularly Mike Lee and Raul Labrador, have decided to push for a bill that legalizes discrimination against gay people. As Matthew Rosa of Salon reports, on Thursday, Senator Mike Lee of Utah introduced the First Amendment Defense Act, a bill that, if passed, would make it legal for private individuals and businesses to discriminate against LGBT Americans by citing religious objections. It's a bill that was first introduced in 2015 and which both Lee and Raul Labrador said they planned on reintroducing as far back as early last year. The proposed law stipulates that the federal government cannot penalize through discriminatory action any individual who speaks or acts in accordance with a sincerely held religious belief or moral conviction that marriage is or should be recognized as a union of one man and one woman or two individuals as recognized under federal law, or that sexual relationship outside of marriage are improper. Critics of this law are concerned that if passed, it would encourage businesses and other for-profit institutions to discriminate against the LGBT community or even heterosexual couples that have sex out of wedlock. So first and foremost, I don't know how this will be used to discriminate against heterosexual couples that are having sex out of wedlock, because how do you know whether or not a heterosexual couple is having sex out of wedlock to begin with? Are you going to ask every couple that comes into your business or place of employment? I mean, you can't do that. So really what this will be used for is to discriminate against members of the LGBT community. Now, will this be something that lasts, even if it is somehow codified into law? Absolutely not, because the country has moved on. We're no longer fixated on social issues. The country is becoming increasingly socially liberal, regardless if this backwards-ass party doesn't want to realize it. But we are. People don't care what other consenting adults do behind closed doors. They don't care because it doesn't affect their lives. And using religion as a justification for bigotry is not acceptable. We don't have to tolerate intolerance, and we won't. This is what they're choosing to focus on at a time when we have 8 different wars going on simultaneously, when income inequality is at record levels. This is what they're choosing to focus on. Now, the irony is that even if they are trying to name this after the First Amendment, calling it the First Amendment Defense Act, this is unconstitutional because it violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. So in the event this were challenged, it probably would be struck down, even though Donald Trump is appointing a lot of right-wing extremist judges. I mean, if they apply the law objectively and equally, this would not hold up. It wouldn't. Because it's brazenly unconstitutional. You're basically giving religious people a pass if they want to discriminate against members of the LGBT community. Look, this is a bill that will appease social injustice warriors or right-wing SJWs who are triggered at the thought of homosexuality, probably because they are gay themselves and just can't stand to see gay people because maybe they get turned on and it reminds them that, they're not living the life that they want to live. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's time for Republicans and conservatives, generally speaking, to move on. I hate to break it to you guys, but you lost this culture war. You lost it. You lost. It's done. Stick a fork in it. It's done. Gay people are accepted. Generally speaking, even if there's still ignorance, most people do not care that gay people exist. It's just you guys who are trying to appease an increasingly small portion of the country, evangelicals, that don't like gay people. Well, fuck off. I don't like you either, okay? That doesn't mean that I should be able to discriminate against right-wingers and evangelicals. I wouldn't do that just because it's immoral, but here they are trying to give right-wing evangelicals a free pass if they want to discriminate against gay people. So if I go into a restaurant, I have to worry that I'm going to get kicked out because I'm gay and I'm triggering these right-wing snowflakes. It's just, this is so stupid that we're talking about this in 2018. Move on.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.